good? Yeah. How was breakfast? Amazing. We should be bringing that each and every day. It was? Oh, nice, but not every day. Okay, welcome back to our second session of the day. And we want to look at delivering sensitive content. And in this session, we are going to look at 5 parts. The 5 parts we are going to look, the first part we are going to look at sensitive topics. Second part we are going to look at accurate information. Third part we are going to look at comfort continuum. And then part 4 we are going to look at the reasons as to why we are talking about sensitive, delivering sensitive content. And then finally, part 5, we are going to look at how are we going to help you as the Atua organization. And to start us off, I want us to reflect on this question at an individual level. What are some of the topics you think that might be sensitive or challenging for you to deliver? I would like to get responses from our new facilitators before I get to our returning facilitators. So, anyone is a new facilitator? Good thing I know your names. So if there's no one who is going to start us off, I'll just mention someone. Yes, Precious.
I don't have a particular one. Not religion, not sexual reproductive health. Maybe if it touches too much on feelings, I might not, I can deliver, but it is not my strongest suit.
When it touches more on emotions?
Emotions. Now everyone is having emotions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's put emotional. Maybe health, something like that. Someone else? I would love to hear from Boniface. What topic to you consider it sensitive to deliver or very challenging?
Actually, to me, I don't think there is anything that I can't deliver. Mm-hmm. But maybe to talk on behalf of someone else in the room, things to do with maybe sexual relationships and topics about sex.
Mention about sexual relationships. Anyone else who's willing to share topics that are very sensitive or might be very challenging for them to deliver? Yes, Mnira? Reproductive health. Okay. Anyone else? And when you facilitator, you're comfortable delivering any content?
Can you say culture-related topic?
Will you please, when you talk about culture, it's very wide.
Like people have different cultures. For example, maybe they're so sensitive cultures. Mm-hmm. For example, the Maasai, they are people with very sensitive teenage cultures. Mm-hmm. So it might be very sensitive to an extent that it might affect the student who maybe comes from that region or place.
So things to do with maybe cultural norms, because they differ from one community to the other. One last person. Yes, Mariam?
Violence.
Yeah. Violence specifically, or maybe?
Either domestic violence or,
Okay. Violence. Anyone else? Let me have one last person. Shelton. Maybe will you share which topic is so challenging to you to deliver?
Stereotypes. Yeah, stereotypes.
So thank you all for sharing. So together with whatever you have shared, we also have some of the sensitive topics that maybe you'll find yourself talking about them. We have things to do with emotion and managing emotion, as Precious has said, when it comes to things to do with emotions, she might not be very comfortable talking about them. People who have talked about sexual violence and exploitation, there's someone who said about sexual relationship, there's peer pressure, there's gender and gender roles. So to add on your list, we have all these which we also consider to be very sensitive topics. So I want you to divide yourself into 6 groups. I'm not going to divide you, you're going to do that by yourselves. I ensure that you have 6 groups and it is balanced. It's where only male are together, females are together. I want you to mix up and make 6 groups. Listen first, then after coming up with the 6th group, the first group, I'm going to give you an article here you're going to read about adolescent sexual reproductive health policy that was published in 2015. So the first group is going to look at the background story about that article. Group 2, they are going to look at adolescent sexual reproductive health status. Group 3, they are going to look at factors linked to poorer adolescent sexual reproductive health. Group 4, they are going to look at limited access to SRH education. Group 5, they are going to look at limited access to SRH services. And then group 6, they're going to tell us about the policy recommendation. So like 2 minutes for you to come up with those groups and then come for the articles. You are ready for our presentations? Yeah, so let's start with group number 1. You have strictly 4 minutes for your presentation.
We're going to discuss about the background of the National Adolescent Sexual and Reproductive Health Policy, okay? So the background, we have about, as you can see in the chart, about 9.2 million are adolescents in Kenya that is, are adolescents aged around 10 to 19. And we'll find that 1 out of 4 in a population constitute of 24%. Okay, that means generally the whole population in Kenya. So the Ministry of Health has launched a new policy on adolescent sexual and reproductive health, which was on 3rd September 2015. Okay. So this policy that was launched was to reaffirm the commitment to ensure that adolescents they're able to access to SRH service, which is sexual reproductive health. They launched the strategic objective to that. The first objective was to promote adolescent sexual and reproductive health rights, which were. The first one was to increase access to SRH information, which is adolescent sexual and reproductive health information. The second one was to reduce STIs that include HPV and HIV. The other one was to reduce the sexual gender-based violence and improve responses. And another strategic objective was to reduce drug and substances abuse. Okay, the importance of these strategic policies and objectives. The aim was to provide guidance to policymakers and also planners and implementers involved in SRH on priorities, areas for resource allocation and implementation. Okay. That's basically about the background of the National Adolescent Sexual and Reproductive Health Policy. Thank you.
Group number 2.
So we were doing the adolescent as a SRH status. So according to the 2014 Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, we found out that half of men and women start engaging in sex at age 17 and 18, respectively. And 11% and 20% of girls and boys aged 15 to 19 start engaging in sex at the age 15. And 23% of girls
aged 15 to 19 have an unmet need for contraceptives and have begun childbearing, and half of these births are unwanted. Then when it comes to STI prevalence, it's higher in girls, so the age is 15 to 19. It's 3 times more than the boys of the same age group. And the knowledge of HIV prevention, testing, use of condoms is very low among adolescents. Then the HPV vaccine uptake is also low, and also adherence to the HIV drugs is also low.
Thank you. Let's appreciate them. Group number 3.
So we were looking at the factors that are linked to poorer adolescents' SRH status. So the first factor is social economic status. It has been found out that women in poorer households with no education tend to engage in early sex, which can lead to unwanted pregnancies and STIs, compared to the girls that go to secondary schools and tertiary education. The other factor is harmful traditional practices such as early marriages and female genital mutilation, whereby when they go to those early marriages, of course, there's engagement in sex, which can predispose them to early STIs, and their SRH status would be poor. The other factor is sexual and gender-based violence. Women, again, from poorer households, low education, tend to experience gender-based violence, sexual violence, which will lead to unintended pregnancies and even STIs, including HIV. The other factor is underage drinking and drug abuse. It has been found that boys tend to engage in alcohol abuse earlier than girls, but also the girls engage in alcohol use and drug use, which can lead to risky sexual behaviors, leading to unwanted pregnancies and even STIs. Then the other one is marginalized and vulnerable adolescents. So you find that people who come from marginalized areas, for example, from Samburu, Turkana, they don't have access to information. Like, they don't even know HIV exists. So they might engage in sex without the knowledge of HIV and other STIs. Then we also have vulnerable adolescents, who are like street children, orphans. They don't really have access to information, and they also face severe social, cultural, economic, and structural barriers, so they can't get information. Also, disabled people don't have access to information because the materials that are there are not formulated to suit their needs. For example, the blind, they can't read a magazine, they can't read a brochure, so they might lack the information.
Thank you. Let's appreciate them. Group number 4.
Good morning. Okay, number 4, limited access to SRH education. There are 3 sectors that face the challenges of education on SRH. That is the education center, the health center, and the family and community sector. Okay, on the education sector, the challenges that we are facing are limited information on sexuality due to the national curriculum only focuses on HIV, but then they're not talking about the sexual relationship, the sexual reproduction health. So we can see there's a challenge on addressing the issues of sexuality, reproduction. Okay, another information is inadequate capacity of teachers. Okay, there are limited teachers who have the capacity to offer the SRH education. So we have challenges on addressing the issues of SRH. Okay, another thing is the health sector. In health sector, we have inadequate materials that are not standardized. Now, maybe you can, Hatua maybe has their own criteria on how they're addressing the issue of sexual reproduction health, and other maybe, let's say, other organizations such as Red Cross has their own criteria. So there is no standardized criteria on how we are going to address this issue. That's the second point. And the third point is limited geographical coverage. So these materials that maybe they have been provided, information, education, communication materials, you can feel that they are not well known. Maybe only the Hatua have the the facilities and the materials, but maybe other institutions they do not have. So maybe they'll only focus on the Hatua kids, but what about the other kids who don't have the materials? Okay, on the family sector, due to modernization, we find it very difficult our parents to have us together and talk about maybe adolescent, because they feel like it's a taboo, or maybe how am I going to talk about the sexual reproduction health to my children? They feel like, oh, mama na MVP. You know, even in our day-to-day life, our parents, they find it difficult to address that issue directly. So it makes a challenge. And the other things, the curiosity that comes with adolescents, you'll find like Joyce that I say Google was her teacher. And you may find some information misleading, or other will find information from their peers or maybe classmates. So those are the challenges that we are facing.
Thank you. Let's have group number 5.
Group number 5, we're talking about limited access to sexual reproductive health services. So we found that from this policy, only 10% of facilities in the country provide youth-friendly sexual reproductive health services, only 10%. Now, the main cause of the limitations in access to sexual reproductive health services in the country has been lack of implementation of the ARHD 2003 policy. It was never implemented, okay? ARHD is the Adolescent Reproductive Health Development Policy of 2003. Why was it never fully implemented? Because of these particular factors. One is inadequate investment. There was no investment. If at all there was, it was very little into that particular implementation. Number 2 was lack of plan. If you don't plan, then you plan to fail. So lack of planning, so it's going down. No awareness of the policy. How many of us here even know of that policy? Or even know that the policy ever existed? Commodity stockouts. Go to our facilities, you don't find the commodities that you need for providing these services. Another is lack of clear coordination among stakeholders. Again, that's a problem. If you don't engage stakeholders and you don't have a framework for coordination, it becomes a problem. Lack of capacity of SRH service providers. We don't have these service providers, competent ones in our facilities. Another one is regressive cultural practices. FGM, female genital mutilation, still a problem. Religious beliefs, which are regressive and cannot be able to help us move forward in as far as SRH services is concerned. Another is inadequate engagement of private sector, the mission hospitals and all other private sector players in sexual reproductive health. Inadequate funding is also another big problem. You don't fund the implementation of Adolescent Reproductive Health Development Policy 2003 and its recommendation, then the limitations continues. Weak coordination mechanisms. Again, it appears here. You don't have clear mechanisms in which you can easily coordinate, all right? Then inadequate monitoring and evaluation framework. A policy only becomes a good policy if you do monitoring and evaluation. If you don't do that, then everything that is good in it is watered down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's have our last group, last but not least.
So group 6, we were dealing on the policy recommendations. And firstly, we needed increased funding to adolescent SRH from the government and development partners. In this, we will have more money for resources, for capacity building on the ground. Additionally, when you're doing this, we need a plan to be developed for this funding so that you do not have any misuse. Secondly, we're required to strengthen capacities of institutions, service providers, and communities. When we strengthen the health facility, we can see on the background, we were told earlier that poor SRH outcomes in adolescents have long-term adverse effects on health, wellness, and productivity. Notably on education, the education system can have or should develop better education plans, adding SRH to the syllabus and in a better way. The community, let us sensitize our communities because we are a representation of the communities we come from. The third point was promote educational opportunities for girls, both formal and non-formal. Sometimes, as we were discussing in our group, these girls get pregnant and we need to integrate them back. They had a life before these incidents happened. So we should enable them to either go back to school or develop other skills. And lastly, we had promote enforcement of laws and policies prohibiting marriage of girls below 18 years, female circumcision, and sexual offenses. This, as you can see, our Constitution has tried to uphold that in the rights of the child. We have the Children's Act acting in the best interest of the child. Notably, we have Article 43, Sub-Article 1 on everyone having the right to health care, and this includes reproductive health care. Any questions? Any clarification needed? Thank you.
Let's appreciate them. Okay, let's go back to our normal seating arrangements. So you are both listening to from each and every group as they present. So we want to ask, what was your biggest takeaway from reading the article of sexual reproductive health as far as adolescents are concerned? What were your biggest takeaway? Yes, Boniface?
I think the government itself is not doing enough work. If we had an official who would tell him or her to
So the government has to do better when it comes to sexual reproductive health of our adolescents. Any other person with a key takeaway from all those presentations? Yes, Munira?
It's something that is already there and it needs to be addressed.
Something that is happening. We cannot ignore that. Yes, Sarah?
There are still gaps as far as information is concerned. There should be more sensitization on this.
More sensitization on this. Any other person? Before I close that chapter? Yes, Susan?
I think the biggest one that we saw in our group was the information is heavily leaning towards the female gender. It's more responsibility is given to them more. Yeah, there's no, like Sarah has said, there are gaps.
Okay. So, let me hear from Cecilia and then Billy. Then we proceed. Yes, Cecilia?
So the framework is already there, like they have the policy and everything they want to do. They have noted like some of the problems, challenges, but the problems comes in implementation. So I'd like for them to be able to implement this because the information is already there.
Billy, your take?
I think fear of reading my mind. But here we can't have a policy making that we can already work from the policy. Yes, I don't want to push a narrative that will occupy minutes to head. But yes.
Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, but yes. Let's just push for this thing to happen.
Thank you so much. So, I have a follow-up question. So, how did you feel like you interacting with such like content from your various groups? How was the feeling for you to interact with such like content about adolescents and their sexual reproductive health? How was the feeling? Yes?
Yeah, I felt sad for our sisters. Yes, because they are for our younger sisters in the country. Because if only 10% of our health facilities, countrywide, have got the capability of offering sexual reproductive health services. It's something to worry everyone.
Okay, something to worry everyone. So, And it's only not only sisters alone, eh? It's both. Yeah.
I didn't mean, am I allowed to respond? Oh yeah, I didn't mean like the boys don't need it, but see for ladies are special. Yeah, because look at allow me to explain. For example, men don't face menstrual shame, for example. Yeah, because they don't undergo that. But ladies, they face. I remember a story where a student committed suicide. I don't know if you remember, because of menstrual shame. But now, if we had these facilities that can be able to provide these services, we could have, for example, avoided that. That's why I lean on ladies, but even for men, they also do.
Okay. So, Sarah, you have something to say? Yeah. Okay, please.
You asked how we felt. We had, there was a research that said 13,000 girls leave school annually due to pregnancy. So you can imagine how bad the situation is. And from the cases that we have seen, most of the pregnancies are not even from their fellow boys or their age. It is family members. It is border guys. It is big people. So if the society was caring and concerned, it would have been better.
Okay. Another follow-up question. Now this one applies to all of us. How did you feel about the presentations? All the information that you received, how did you feel? Was anyone uncomfortable listening to all the presentation, all the way from group 1 to group 6? Was anyone uncomfortable listening to such like information? Anyone was uncomfortable? Please feel free. Precious, you are?
No, I wasn't. But when we were discussing, you see the singing has responded and ended up saying girls. So in the discussion, sometimes it ended up being blaming the boy child dog of here when we are like, you're the cause, but you see, we're also telling them, pia ninyi msimame, ninyi fanyeni and fight for your right to not disturb us if you're fighting for our own rights. But you see, it's very sensitive in that when you're talking about it, you might be having another gender. So trying to put one gender up without putting the other one down is an issue, the same way he has tried to put it, but in that way he was putting one gender down and putting another up.
Okay. So I've asked that no one was uncomfortable when the presentation were being presented before you. So I would like you to appreciate yourself with one clap. And do you know why you're appreciating yourselves? Because when you're talking about sexual reproductive health is one of the sensitive content. And you have been able to go through the article and you have delivered the presentation. And one thing that made people possible to come and present on whatever they were talking about, it was because of what? Access to accurate information. Because whatever you are presenting before here, it is a research that was conducted. And out of that research, what they had put in that article, it is accurate information. So what does that tell us as facilitators? What does that tell us? Yes, Brandon?
We need to talk about facts and tackling sensitive information.
Thank you, Brandon. So when you are looking into sensitive content or sensitive topics, you should have empowered yourself with the accurate information. Go an extra mile and have a research. Don't just get into that class with whatever Atu has provided alone, and you are thinking that it's that enough. Go ahead and think. Like right now, this the article we are looking at, it was in 2015. So much has changed and much has happened. If you go right now and try to research about the adolescent sexual reproduction health, they might have been different information as compared to now. So research is very key for you to have accurate information. So I want to assess your comfort continuum when it comes to delivering sensitive content. And I'm going to start by us watching a video. And while you're watching the video, please reflect on how comfortable are you watching it. I'll be just going around. I want to see those faces. The faces that you are going to be making.
Oh my God, did you see the new yogurt commercial? Oh, it was so beautiful when the girl is running in the field and she meets her cow and it's also low fat. Sorry, I just always get so emotional during dairy commercials.
Having sex may mean different things to different people. Sex can be a source of physical pleasure and also can spark a variety of different emotions like intimacy, bonding, and satisfaction. These positive emotions can also put a person in a vulnerable position. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and vasopressin are just a few chemicals in the brain that can trigger emotional reactions when a person has sex. These chemicals are what makes a person feel pleasure from sexual activity or feel emotional attachment to another person. When you don't have a lot of experience with the brain chemicals involved in sexual activity, they can be very overwhelming, especially if you and your partner aren't having the same emotional reactions. If the emotions of sex have got you feeling anxious or depressed, you should talk them out with your partner or with a trusted adult. Before you decide to have sex, it's important to think through all the emotional reactions, both positive and negative, that you could feel as a result of your experience.
Till next time, don't forget to visit me at amaze.org or go to my YouTube channel to watch more. Bye!
I want now also to continue like looking at your comfortability levels when we were talking about the sensitive content. And when you look around the room, there's a place I've written not at all. That means I'm going to be reading some statements. Listen to them. If you feel that you are not at all comfortable talking about them, you'll move to that corner. And if you feel like you are a little bit comfortable, you're going to move at this corner. And you feel like you are very comfortable, a lot comfortable, you are going to be at this point. So we may stand, then try to make some way. So the first statement is, how comfortable are you talking about sex? How comfortable are you talking about sex? Let's keep it low. Let's keep it low. I'll start with Billy and Munira. Why are you not at all comfortable talking about sex? What's the reason behind that?
Okay. Personally, I'll say maybe my background, the way I was raised. It's something, when it comes to sex, it's something I can't really explain myself, or rather than expose what I feel, because since I was young, I was told that it's something that is personal, according to me.
Okay. Billy?
I want to take Munira's point.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, sex is a very sensitive topic, and for me, I won't take it serious, so it's hard.
It's hard for you to deliver. Let's talk
hard.
about. Let me leave here. Let me get one person who is at a little comfortable. Let me hear from Juliet. Why are you a little comfortable talking about sex?
I feel like maybe I might give too much information, and then I lead the class the wrong way. But I believe that I can do it when I'm given the orders to do A, B, C, and D. But when I'm told just do it, I think I might either overdo or underdo.
Okay, thank you. Ali, you are very comfortable talking about sex. Why? Why?
Okay, according to me, I believe that giving facts and not opinion is something that's very important. Swahili people say, samaki mkunja ngali mbichi. So when you nurture this person, don't hide facts from him. And you know that this era of modernization, things are happening so fast. So it's very important for us to appreciate facts at an early stage and not shy away from sex, you see? Yes, because a lot is happening, these little kids have information, teenagers. So it's high time you should be very comfortable talking it to young teenagers. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ali. So our next statement. How comfortable are you defining healthy relationships? How comfortable are you to define the term healthy relationships? This is interesting. Okay. So, Brittany, why are you a little comfortable?
Okay, personally, I don't even understand how healthy a relation. Like I've never understood those things, so I don't think I can lead someone or explain to them about what healthy relationships are, because even I suffer from. I don't understand.
Thank you. So I can see we have a very bigger number on they are very confident and comfortable defining what healthy relationship is. So he's going to give us the definition of healthy relationships. Who is confident and comfortable enough? Why are you changing? I'm not changing. If you're comfortable defining it, it means you know the definition. So one of you to define for us what healthy relationship is. Or what do you mean when you are talking about healthy relationships? Yes, Brenda? Okay.
Okay. Anything healthy means state of well-being. So healthy relationships, if inaweza kuwa boyfriend, girlfriend, or friendship, it should have a positive impact on you. So if it is making your mental state not okay, your physical state not okay, then that's not healthy.
Okay. Someone else? You can see Madonna nodding. Do you have something to add on that?
She has given a very clear definition of what it is. So I'm here at a lot because I've experienced both unhealthy and healthy, and I can tell them out of my own experience. So I feel a healthy relationship or friendship has open communication. It has a benefit, as she has said, and you respect each other's opinions and beliefs and all of that.
Thank you. Our next statement. How comfortable are you talking about sexual violence and rape? How comfortable are you talking about sexual violence and rape? Let me hear from Daniel. Why are you not at all comfortable?
Okay, according to me, sexual violence and rape is a very sensitive topic, and I don't have enough knowledge about it also. So I can't talk about it, yet I don't have the facts about it. And I've never experienced it. Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. Susan, why are you a little comfortable talking about sexual violence and rape?
I think if I get accurate information, I might be a lot more comfortable. Right now,
right now I might only talk about it from maybe like someone's experiences, about what I think people feel, but once I get accurate information, I might be more comfortable.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Sheila. Why are you so a lot comfortable?
Yes, I'm comfortable because I believe I have adequate information, and also I have some background. I've done HTS, so yeah, as a short course.
Okay. To our last question. How comfortable are you talking about depression? How comfortable are you talking about depression? So let me hear from Henry. Why are you not at all comfortable?
Well, for me, I'm not
Yes,
comfortable.
listen.
I'm not at all comfortable talking about depression because I feel I don't have enough knowledge on it. So maybe I could direct somebody to a path that may not deliver them from hell. Yeah.
So what if you have the information? Can you be in a position to be very comfortable to deliver?
Yeah. If I am equipped with the information, then I believe I can do a good job.
Thank you. Kevin, I've not heard you speaking today. Tell us, why are you a little comfortable?
So for me, I think I'm a little bit comfortable because with the limited information about depression, I find it difficult for me to guide someone who is going through the same experience. Yeah.
But when you have the entire information about it, are you going to be comfortable?
Yes, when I'm equipped with the right information, I can do it.
Okay, thank you. This place. Let me hear from Isaac. Why are you so comfortable?
I'm comfortable because it's something that I've experienced, and the fact that I got over it, it's something that should be put out there so that anyone who's suffering from it can emulate.
Okay, thank you so much. We can have our seats. What observation do you have about your response to statements? What observation did you have as an individual to your response to the question that I was asking about your comfortable level in each and every statement? What observations did you have? Yes, Sarah?
That I didn't take a lot of time thinking.
You knew where to go? Yes, Madonna?
I feel like everybody has a different reason of standing at either a little or a lot. Some people are standing there because they don't have information, but other people maybe are standing there for different reasons. So I feel everybody has their own reasons why they can or cannot make such things.
One last take from Raphael. Okay. Did anyone feel pressure to change sides? Anyone? I saw Munira changing, or you are moving away from the projection. Are you sure? Are you sure? Anyone who felt pressured to change or to go to another side? Anyone? No one. So you all stand by your decisions. So what did you notice about the overall comfortable levels with discussing sensitive topics? what was your overall observation? Keeping in mind each and every statement that I was reading out. Yes, Sarah?
I noticed that majority of people are comfortable with sensitive topics. Those that are not comfortable is because they lack information. If they get the information, then they will be comfortable.
So that one is, it's not a bad thing, you not having enough information about a particular topic. So what really brings happiness to me is like, when I was asking them, they were like, if I'm given enough information about that particular topic, I can be in a position to deliver. So after doing that, I was noting down some of the people that I'm going to address these questions to. So please be prepared for those people who are saying that they're very comfortable talking about sex, very comfortable talking about sexual exploitation and violence. So it's practice. Interesting, right? So the people, when I asked the first statement about how comfortable are they to talk about sex, they were a lot comfortable. So I want Ali. Silence. I want Ali to describe to us how masturbation happens or how masturbation is done in female.
Okay, as you can see, I have materials here ready. So, how masturbation is done in female, not from experience. Okay, I'll describe what my close female friend told me. When I was in school, I was doing some peer counseling to students, my peer students. So there was a lot in this, and they told me very sensitive information. So how they used to do it, I will start with high school. Those high school teenagers used to take this apparatus from the laboratory, test tubes, then they put hot ugali. Then now they go to their private spaces and they practice masturbation using those test tubes.
How?
How? Okay,
let's give Ali time.
Brandon, I can see you know much. So, how they used to do it, they will they will find a private space, for example, stand or be private here, be very attentive and look at me. So after staying here, the next thing they'll do, of course, not to unpack, to remove their clothes. If they are ladies, they remove their skirts or their dresses. They start with the dress. Then they go to the innerwears. I'm describing whatever they told me. Then they go to their innerwears, that is Then now they position themselves in a comfortable position. For example, other ladies do like this. Other ladies, maybe they might other ladies might appreciate different styles, amazing styles. For example, from the one who she told me, she used to appreciate that kind of a style like this one. It's called stand up and rise. Oh, it's called one leg, like this.
Okay, thank you, Ali. Thank you. Okay. My next person, Cecilia. You are very comfortable talking about sex. Kindly come and demonstrate how masturbation is done in male.
Like for males, so rubbing the sexual organ to, like, oh, okay. The male sexual organ, the penis, you rub it to get stimulation. So you rub something like you can rub it using your hands or whatsoever.
Thank you. So I can see you're very excited when it comes to these things. I'm wondering why not all of you were at this part. But now at a demonstration, I can see people know better. I'm not going to mention names. It's okay. It's okay. Let's continue. So, why do we teach our students about all these topics? Why are the reasons? Why are we taking our students through all these topics? Yes, Sarah?
I think when they have the information, they can make informed decisions.
Informed decision. Someone else? Yes, Isaac?
When you were looking at the articles, so some of the reasons as to why those bad things were happening is due to ignorance. And when you educate a child into what's good and what's right, not what's good, what's good and what's wrong, he or she can get the opportunity to actually make a decision, as Sarah said. So you just give him or her the knowledge and let him or her make the decision for himself or herself.
You're making the information available to them. Access to information. Any other reason? Any other reason as to why? Yes, Madonna?
Some of these topics, such as sex, they are termed as taboos even at their homes. So they don't have anybody per se talk to about this stuff. So when we talk to them about the facts and accurate information, as they said, they are going to make informed decisions, and they're going also to empower other students who are back in their schools so that they cannot do bad things.
Thank you so much. And what are the long-term benefits of us taking through our students all these topics? You've gotten the reason as to why. You want them to have the information, you want them to make informed decision, and what are the long-term benefits? Yes, Vera?
I'm taking us back to the article. I think the long-term benefits will help us deal with the data. When you were saying, I don't know, this percentage of women, young ladies are getting pregnant, stuff like that, it will trickle down to dealing with those data that we don't want to interact with in this.
Okay. Any other person? Yes, Ali?
I think you are shaping their lives into more of a holistic approach, yes, whereby they will have the knowledge to make the right decisions even when they get out of school, maybe they are with their families from at a younger age. Yes.
Yes, Juliet?
Also, the long-term goal is to break the vicious cycle of misinformation and to produce a healthy generation in the future. Because when you know it now, 10 years later, when you have a child, you will do the same thing. So it breaks the cycle.
Okay, thank you so much. So, with all that you've shared, the reason as to why we teach our students about all this topic is, one, we delay their first age of first sexual encounter. Remember, adolescence mostly sets on when they are informed to onwards. Now that's where they are experiencing their physical changes, as Nancy told you in the morning. They now want to understand, why am I feeling this way when I look at a particular boy when she's a girl. So like when we teach them all this, they get to understand themselves, and also they are going to delay their age of first sexual encounter. As you can remember from the policy, what is the first age of sexual encounter? Yeah, 15 to 19. So mostly 15, those are in Form 3, around Form 3, Form 4, Apple. So you get maybe they are already engaging in sex. Another reason is tools to address mental health issues. You have a topic that is going to like address emotional health. And when we teach them about all this information, we are giving them tools to understand themselves, to understand the emotions that they are experiencing. They also get to know, how am I going to go about this if it's happening to me? And then we have to reduce the likelihood of teenage pregnancy. Most of you have shared, like in their homes, it's like not even comfortable enough them talking about sex. So if they're not going to get this information from us, there's a very big possibility that from their families they don't discuss such like issues. But when they get this information, they can take care of themselves not to get teenage pregnancies, because they'll be having the information. They know if I'm going to have unprotected sex, obviously I'm going to get what? Pregnant. And as much as in school maybe they're told they are safe days, safe whatever, up to now myself I do not know how to count them, so I do not believe in them. Yeah. So such like misinformation. And then they'll be able to know about healthy friendship. These are the things that we take them through. They are growing. And at one point in life, you will experience this emotion. You feel like, I'm developing a liking to this person. How am I going to go about it to make it a healthy relationship, whereas it's going to like not hinder me from achieving my future goals? And then we have increased likelihood of safer sex practices, I've just said. We introduce them to like use of condom, let them know what they're supposed to do, so that at the end of the day, when we come again back to our statistics, maybe the number of teenage pregnancy will have reduced, because now they know how to practice safer sex. And then better understanding of romantic relationships. They get to know, if I'm involved in a romantic relationship, what is expected of me? We don't just let them be there, because at the end of the day, you never know the person that they are involved with. Maybe they are exploiting them, and they do not know what romantic relationship means. But if they get this information as early as this, they know how to stand out for themselves. And they know if maybe I'm in a relationship with someone and this is happening, this is not a healthy romantic relationship. And they know how to go about it. And then reduction in mental health related challenges, including substance abuse. This is one of the things we also talk about, substance abuse. They get to know that, and also get to understand their mental capacity and how it operates, and if there's any trigger that maybe can lead them to a mental disorder, they get to know that because they have that information through us. Any question up to that point? Yes, Billy?
I'm seeing most of the topics or the points I will learn mostly on relationships and story. Listed down things related to custom norms, violence, stereotypes. I'm not saying it's just something more to that.
Something more to?
I don't know what is the drive to be pushing for the sexual relationship, mental health, yet there are other things that come from norms, violence, stereotypes. I get the picture that you're only aligning to one side of the...
Okay, you're not aligning to one side of the picture, but in real sense, if you're going to be a Form 2 facilitator, you'll get to interact with majority of these topics. Either gender stereotypes, sexual violence and exploitation, all those topics you'll get to interact with them. And when you're talking about gender and gender stereotypes, that's where we come and address things to do with cultural norms. Because in each and every society, there is a specific way that male or female are supposed to behave, are supposed to react. So all that is covered in gender and gender stereotypes. It's something that we are going to look at, but not into depth. Because our main essence of us teaching our students about gender and gender stereotypes, we are trying to like bring an end to whatever they think that it's supposed to be this way for ladies, supposed to be this way for male. But in real sense, you can find that whatever a male does, a lady can also do. So what we are trying to do is we are just trying to change that mentality by giving them information about gender and gender stereotypes. Yes. Any other question? Yes, Sarah, and then to you, Renard.
I would like to get
equal or freedom?
They get introduced to contraception to counteract early pregnancies, even PEPs and PrEPs to prevent HIV. Like it's something that is happening. I just want to get your opinion. What do you think? Yeah, we have many people that are doing that for these guys that are getting the contraception and PEPs and PrEPs.
Yes, Beata?
I think my opinion would be, because when I talk about contraceptives, I would rather talk about a condom rather than talking about pills, because currently as we speak, I think the latest HIV prevalence, the young people are actually leading. And why are they leaving? It's because I'm pretty sure it's because of the contraceptive issues. Simply because the young people no longer fear HIV, but they're only afraid of getting pregnant. So I think I'd rather talk about a condom if it's to talk about contraceptives to the young rather than talking about pills. And then the PrEP and the PrEP, then that means you're focusing on HIV. So with the PrEP and PrEP, I'm okay with that. I'm not really affected.
Last day from Vera.
I want to contribute on the issue of PrEP and PEP. I was talking to a certain lady, she's a lab technician, and she was telling me, you people who talk to young people and in the community, you need to start educating them to watch it misuse, to be away from misusing them. Because she was telling me, the first time you use these pills, it's probably going to work, but the more someone is using them for prevention or even the one that is taken after, your body, she was telling me something scientific that I don't remember, but alikuwa ananiambia hiyo markers. Your body can mark HIV once, twice, but the more it marks it in your body, inafika point yenye hizo PrEP or the PEPs would be effective, and maybe that's the time, maybe, God forbid, but maybe your name sasa amerekiwa and she really needs them, itakuwa mwili yake haiwezi kumsaidia.
Yes, if you don't agree.
Yeah, so for the PrEPs and PEPs, I don't think it's a good,
Okay,
yeah.
we don't want to take that discussion further because I can see it's becoming heated. But what I can tell you, Sarah, is when we are taking our Form 2 student about this topic, we are majorly looking at condom. Let's not introduce PEPs or whatever, because to me, PEPs, I know you take it when you have been exposed. Maybe you have been raped, you're going to take so that you can prevent yourself from getting pregnant and also being infected. That's the only time I will maybe allow you bring that discussion in such like a class. But then this notion of they're now taking it so that they cannot get HIV and whatever, we do not want to encourage that. So we advocate for condoms when we are like teaching our students about all these topics. Harena, the last question, then we proceed. You had a question?
Yeah. What if students bring forward the question of engaging in sexual activity? Okay? Do you lean on abstinence or sex?
We are giving them this information, and I don't want to defend our students saying that they are good, they're not doing all this, but also you can talk about abstinence as what you are advocating for, but again, there is condom if you feel that you cannot abstain. So give them an option of use of condom. That's why you're talking about practices of safer sex. So, how are we going to support you? Mostly our Form 2 facilitators. So I'm just preparing you psychologically in case you find yourself in a Form 2 class. These are some of the topics that you'll be interacting with. And at some point, it's very, very interesting. You get to hear what the student knows. And also you get to give them the information. It becomes so interesting. So I will urge you to be very prepared with research, facts, Don't get in your class, then you're trying to give student misinformation. If maybe a student raises a question and you feel that you're not in the right capacity to give an answer, and also your co-facilitator does not have that, you can tell the student, allow me go research, then I'll get back to you tomorrow. And as I go to research, you also go carry out your own research. Then let's get to hear from our findings. Let's not give a student misinformation. Yes. So this is what we are going to support you with. And we have already started supporting you. Module training with access to accurate information before each mentorship program. You know, right now you've started the session practice, but come next week, we are going now to get into the module itself. That's where you get to know, am I a Form 1 facilitator? Am I a Form 2 facilitator? Or am I a Form 3 facilitator? Once you get to know that, we now start to concentrate on those particular topics that are covered in that form, in that particular term. So you get to practice and get to understand what type of the topics will be teaching our students in that particular mentoring program. And then session plans with accurate information, they are ready. You're going to receive them tomorrow, as you know the classes that you're going to be in. And then prepare Monday come, serious work, more serious work than this week. Because content internalization, it's very important to us. And then coaching and feedback, you've already started receiving that. And one thing I normally tell people is that once you receive feedback, don't wait until tomorrow you receive the same feedback. Just show us that you are working on the feedback that you received the previous day and you are doing something about it. What happens that each and every day you are receiving the same feedback? That means that you're not learning and you're not growing. So always ensure you are working on the feedback that you receive from those session practice that we normally have each and every evening before we start now diving deep into the content that we have. And then finally, you're going to have access to resources, whether maybe you need something to help you facilitate your session. Always feel free to ask the team. Either me, if you're comfortable approaching Frida, comfortable approaching Sam, Nashon, Sammy, or Hilary, feel free to ask for those resources. And then lastly, please share with us if any topics trigger you and you are unable to deliver. We don't want to take you to class, and then you feel like I'm doing this because I have to do this. Maybe you have had a past experience. Then we are here taking you to a Form 2 class, telling you to talk about sexual exploitation, and maybe you are a victim. I understand how that can work on you. So maybe if there's a topic that triggers you, please let us know in advance. We do not want to bring back your past trauma, then start saying that at TUA, they don't care about our mental health. We do not want that. So share with us in advance. And then here are the tips for you to ensure that you can be in a position to deliver those sensitive topics. 1, get equipped with accurate information and then assess your continuum. For those people who are saying that they are not at all comfortable because of lack of information, what do? Go ahead, have some research. After having some research, try to facilitate that session. Get to see how comfortable are you getting after getting the information that you have been lacking. How well can you deliver it? It doesn't mean now because you are not at all comfortable, it does not mean that we're not going to take you to class. We will take you to class to challenge you to research so that you can get that information and feel comfortable delivering such topics. Another thing, always create a safe space. You never know the students that you are addressing. Maybe they are victims of such things. So always create a safe space for them so that they can feel comfortable to share their experiences and whatever they're feeling as far as these sensitive topics are concerned. And then empathize, don't sympathize. So in case a student breaks down because of a particular topic, ameanza kulia, mi pia niko kwa class namsaidia kulia, I'll be sympathizing, not empathizing. So when such thing happen as a facilitator, always ask yourself, what am I supposed to do? Or what is the best approach to this? Or how well can I help this student? Then finally, follow the what? But don't be a what? Yes. Try as much as possible to differentiate the two. We want you to follow the script, but at the same time, we do not want you to be a what? A robot. Any question up to that point? Asanteni sana.